Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Michael Jones. I'm president of the Medical Exercise Training Institute, and I wanted to take a few moments just to talk about our origins. Folks, we started the Medical Exercise Specialist Workshop and Certification back in 1994, and we started it inadvertently because of Dr. King's birthday. Now, I'm shooting this video the day after Dr. King's birthday because it certainly was not appropriate to bring this up on Dr. King's birthday. A man of such great stature and courage, we certainly couldn't tarnish his day by telling our story that would overshadow his story. Yesterday was his day, but today I just wanted to share with you our story, and more importantly, to simply say thank you to him and happy birthday to him, happy belated birthday. Folks, I grew up in Washington, D.C., and after I finished physical therapy school at Howard University, I was an Army officer for a period of time. Then I came back to Washington, D.C. and opened an office. But now, folks, if you know anything about Washington, D.C., it's the federal capital, obviously, and it's a federal city. Pretty much every job, 7 out of 10 jobs are somehow or another either directly related to the federal government or one step away of being related to the federal government, which means when federal holidays come along, the city shuts down. Now, let's all think about this. It's now January 21st. Now, from Thanksgiving up until January 2nd or 3rd, we have ate, drank, and been merry. We started on Thanksgiving. We ate all of grandma and auntie's delicacies at the table, including turkey and stuffing and everything else. And we just kind of said, you know what? I'm not going to worry about being in shape. Then we started with all the Christmas parties starting, say, around December 1st. Everybody had a Christmas party. And we ate, drank, and were merry at all the Christmas parties. And then Christmas rolled around. And then we went to Christmas dinner. And for that week after Christmas, we celebrated. We went to New Year's parties. Then we went to the final big New Year's Eve party. And we drank, ate, and were merry. We watched football and basketball. We watched every bowl game. We were just doing our thing. And somewhere along the way, the health club started running ads for a nickel a down, a penny a day. You can have a Baywatch body. Yeah, that's kind of how it worked. And we all joined, didn't we? Yep, we all joined. And we joined that week after Christmas, but we didn't quite make it there until that first week of January. Now, folks, one thing I learned along the way, practicing as a physical therapist, the average North American male or female cannot tolerate the exercise in the health club. They just cannot do it. They think they can. And folks, we also joined the club with an unrealistic idea of what we can do. Now, for ladies, most of them join the club, not all, but the majority, they want to slim down their hips and their thighs, and they want nice flat stomachs, so they migrate toward the aerobics classes, the stair climber machines, those types of things, anything to strengthen and tone those areas. Not all the time, but to some degree. Guys, we now join for another reason. We want to get buffed again. We want to go back to the days when we were in college and could lift, when we all played football or hockey in high school. We want to go back to those days. So we kind of go back to our college thought process, when I could bench press 185 pounds. So we joined the club with the idea of getting buffed. Shoulders, biceps, pecs, all that stuff. So somewhere along the way, we joined. The first workout is okay. The second was okay. Then we kind of start pushing it a little bit, don't we? Yeah, we do. And then somewhere along the way, we feel a pop or a snap or something goes wrong. And then we got a limp or we can't lift our arm. But if you're living in DC, you can't go to the doctor yet until that first federal holiday. Now, in Washington, Dr. King's birthday, most orthopedic surgeons, physical therapists, sports medicine clinics were open, as was mine. So we had never seen this phenomenon before. I never really paid attention to it, but when you're in private practice, you certainly see it. We occupied the second floor of a building. An orthopedic surgeon was on the first floor, and we had a great referral relationship. Well, this particular Dr. King's birthday, this was probably 1993, 93, 94, someplace in there. We had a huge influx of people that came to the doctor's office because it was the first day off, first day they could go see an orthopedist about their knee injury, their shoulder, or their back from the exercise in the health club. And of course, these were folks that were in pretty bad shape, some of them. Folks, we coined the term then health club refugee. Now, we've since changed that term because it's inappropriate, especially with what we're seeing around the world, the plight of refugees and the dire needs and the things we need to do to help them. So we changed that name and we changed the health club Casualties. And folks, I guarantee you, yesterday, which was Dr. King's birthday, someplace in an orthopedic clinic or a sports medicine clinic, there were a number of individuals that came in that joined the health club with all great sincerity. They wanted to get in shape. They wanted to do the right thing. And maybe the club staff members didn't know exactly what to do with them, and they ended up with injuries. And they kept trying to go to kind of work through it because they didn't want to be wimps. They had put their down payment in. They had paid their penny a day, and they wanted to get the most out of their money, but eventually it just didn't work. So Dr. King's birthday, first day they can get in to see a doctor, and they go in to see the doctor, and they're told they've got patellofemoral syndrome, impingement syndrome. They're sent to a physical therapist, or they go to the chiropractor, or the doctor gives them some medication. They don't go to the personal trainer, per se. They don't change health clubs. They go to see their medical professional because they got pain that's significant. Now, it's interesting. We've got a couple of individuals out there in the medical fitness and medical exercise realm that have utilized this term, health club refugees, with the idea that these individuals with these injuries are going to see personal trainers or fitness professionals. Folks, now I would say probably 9 times out of 10, they're going to the doctor. They've got severe pain. They want to know if they got something broken, something damaged, something dislocated. And we utilize this concept to then start looking at the idea of how we can manage this better. So I remember one particular situation. This was probably in 1993. We had a young lady. She was an attorney at the United States Justice Department. Intelligent woman, active woman. She had dislocated her shoulder, but it dislocated posteriorly. As a result, the orthopedic surgeon that was on the ground floor had done a reconstruction of her shoulder, sent her to us for physical therapy, and we worked with her diligently, got all of her range of motion back. The only thing we had a concern about was external rotation. We didn't want her externally rotating. She asked if she could get started with a personal trainer. Now, again, this is in the early 90s. With it being in the early 90s, personal training is just being seen on the map, just getting off the ground. And the really big rich people have trainers. Oprah had a trainer, some of the other movie stars, but gradually more and more people are taking advantage of personal training. So we say, fine, go ahead and get started with the trainer. The trainer called me. I basically gave restrictions. No external rotation, no excessive repetitions of external rotation. Don't push her past, say, 10, 15 degrees. I don't know exactly what it was. Well, ironically, this was probably maybe a couple days after Christmas that she came in for a follow-up visit. No problem. She's good. Talk to the trainer, not a problem. Well, she comes back on Dr. King's birthday, and literally she's cradling her shoulder. You can't really see it on video. She's just cradling her shoulder. She's in excruciating pain. She sees the orthopedic surgeon down on the first floor. He calls me and says, hey, can you come down right now? I have Mrs. So-and-so here. We need to take a look at her. Well, I go downstairs, go in the exam room, and she's in significant pain. And the orthopedic surgeon turns to me and says, what the hell did you do? I'm like, Doc, I didn't do anything. We discharged her back in December. She was doing fine. We got her started with a trainer. So both the doctor and I asked her, well, what's your trainer doing? And the trainer was doing exercises to increase external rotation. The doctor and I were livid. After we got the patient stabilized and got her started and gave her directions, and the doctor wrote a prescription for PT and some meds, we went into the physician's office and we got on speakerphone. This is long before cell phones. We got on the speakerphone call and called this trainer. That was not a pleasant conversation. Now, yeah, I feel bad about it now, but we were livid. If you want to piss off an orthopedic surgeon, ruin the orthopedic surgical procedure he did or she did that required meticulous surgical technique. You want to piss off a therapist, you'll piss them off by taking a client or patient that was very involved and then utilizing an exercise program or developing an exercise program that ruins all of it. So we were both livid. Well, after that conversation, myself and the orthopedic surgeon sat there for a little while talking about this, and we were both still pretty pissed off, but we also realized in that same vein, it was incumbent upon us as medical professionals to share our expertise in managing these conditions and add the component of exercise with it and teach courses to the general fitness public. Because at that point in time, this is again in the early 1990s, we had already started to see insurance reimbursement dropping for physical therapy services, occupational therapy services. And folks, if you're a healthcare provider out there, you know, once insurance carriers cut back, it does not come back. So we realized we were in the early stages of what could potentially be a problem. So now 25 years later, the medical exercise specialist workshop and certification is still around and still growing because of these continued changes in healthcare insurance reimbursement. So this all starts as a result of a phenomenon we started to see on Dr. King's birthday. Now, let me take a moment to honor a man of great courage and great faith and a great humanitarian. I'd like to say, happy birthday, Dr. King. Happy belated birthday, and thank you. Because you know what? If we hadn't paid attention to what was going on, we would have probably let this opportunity pass. And this opportunity has afforded us to reach a lot of people around the world, meet a lot of great medical exercise specialists around the world. But I wanted to say this. I was a United States Army officer. I was a paratrooper and a ranger. Now, we're supposed to be the best of the best, some of the toughest soldiers in the world. But you know what? I wonder, in the 1960s, when Dr. King went out and led those protests, would I have had the courage to stand there in the street protesting when I knew the people on the other side were looking to hurt me severely with violence? Nowadays, this is 2020. If we knew that was going to happen, we would call the police to escort us. But in the 1960s, folks, many of the individuals that were perpetuating the violence were the police. What do you do? So I say to Dr. King and all those people out there that stood and marched for civil liberties for all Americans, my God, your courage is incredible. My mother told me something when I was a little boy. You'll always find courage in those that have great faith. And you know what? Thank you, Dr. King, for your great faith. Thank you for all you did for us in our country. And more importantly for me, because certainly, probably things would be different if you hadn't come along. And I probably wouldn't be in this situation I am now. And definitely, I probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to teach and share this information with people around the world. So thank you, Dr. King. To all of you out there listening, thank you. And we felt it was inappropriate to post this video on Dr. King's birthday. Certainly, this man deserves his day and nothing but his day, and our tribute and our thanks. But I wanted to share this story to say indirectly, we actually have benefited from this. And again, to Dr. King and the King family, thank you for this man's great courage. And again, happy belated birthday. All the best to all of you. Oh, one other thing. Dr. King was an adamant believer in the franchise, or the ability to vote. We're in a crisis situation now here in America. It's testing the very democracy that we live under. So I urge all of you to make sure you get out there and vote. If you are a registered voter, go to your voting authority in your city or state and make sure that you're still registered to vote. We have forces out there that are purging voter rolls across the country. They're dumping people who haven't been in poll or been to the poll in years, and they're getting rid of you. That's not right. American citizens have the right to vote. Please take advantage of your right. Protect the franchise. Go out there, make sure you're registered to vote. Also, to all of your friends, anyone watching this video, ask them to vote. This is vitally important. If you believe in the greatness of this man, make sure you vote. Again, all the best. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Take care.